have a seriously forward-looking Senate.
This victory is not just about me. It is all about us coming together as a united house to serve the Nigerian people diligently.
Journey into the 10th National Assembly begins as new leadership emerges after inauguration. Former President Jonathan visits President Bola Tinubu. Plus, Borno State launches fertilizer distribution for 2023 farming season. Good evening and welcome to the Network News on NTA. We are reaching you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Elizabeth Omori. Adiola Komiakere will be reading from our Lagos Network Center. And don't forget to join us live on our website, nta.ng/live, NTA News Now on Twitter, as well as other social handles displayed on the screen. We begin with the inauguration of the 10th Assembly. Former Governor of Akwa Ibom State and Senator representing Akwa Ibom Northwest Senatorial District, Senator Godswill Akpabio, has emerged President of the 10th Senate and the 15th Indigenous President of the Nigerian Senate. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Onkwo reports that Akpabio polled 63 votes to defeat his rival, former Governor of Zamfara State, Abdulaziz Yari, who had 46 votes.
Beginning of a new era at the National Assembly, usually accompanied by an influx of guests. It's the inauguration of the 10th National Assembly and election of its presiding officers. From the entrance gate into the precinct of the National Assembly to the lobby were a handful of guests who came to witness the big event amid tight security. Inside the Senate makeshift chamber, senators were all seated and ready to elect their presiding officers. The battle of former governors. The awaited time arrived, the election of the president of the 10th Senate and the 15th indigenous president of the Nigerian Senate. Senators Godswill Akpabio and Abdulaziz Yari nominated for the position of president of the Senate. Then voting state by state in alphabetical order. Eventually, Senator Godswill Akpabio emerged winner.
Godswill Akpabio, who has received the highest number of votes, is hereby declared and become president of the Senate.
He secured a total of 63 votes to defeat Senator Abdulaziz Yari, who had 46, 17 votes difference. The position of the deputy president of the 10th Senate was unopposed. Senator Jibrin Barau, as sole candidate, was declared deputy president of the 10th Senate by the clerk to the National Assembly.
We shall have a seriously forward-looking Senate that will emphasize.
Shortly after the electoral process, the newly sworn-in president of the Nigerian Senate performed his first function, administration of oaths and swearing in of all the senators-elect.
We've garnered much experience that we'll be able to lead the 10th Senate to a stage that it will be most productive. I can assure you that.
The new Senate is made up of 59 All Progressives Congress members, 36 People's Democratic Party, Labour Party 8, the New Nigerian People's Party has 2, Social Democratic Party is also 2, All Progressives Grand Alliance and Young Progressives Party 1 each. Senate has adjourned to Wednesday, the 14th of June 2023. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Onkwo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu describes the emergence of Senator Godswill Akpabio and Tajuddin Abbas as the President of the Senate and Speaker of the House of Representatives for the 10th National Assembly as a good development, urging them to quickly settle down for the business of serving the people. The President also congratulates the new Deputy Senate President Jibril Barau and House of Representatives Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu for their well-deserved victories. He acknowledges Senator Abdulaziz Yari, Idris Wase and Aminu Jaji, who enriched the process with their participation in the leadership election, and wishes channel. And the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Governors and Senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria have been reacting to the outcome of the election inauguration of the leadership of the Senate. National Assembly correspondent Dayo Mushola tells us more.
Dignitaries that came to witness the election say it was a reflection of an evolving democratic culture that respects the views of minority while the majority have its way.
Every Nigerian who thought there was going to be political brouhaha here, electoral brouhaha in the Senate chamber, would be so disappointed. It also demonstrates the maturity of the senators-elect and, of course, their commitment to the unity and territorial integrity of this country.
I believe they should assert themselves, because the beauty of democracy is there's clear separation of power.
It's a very good plus to our democracy, and I'm happy that things are going well, and my party is better off for it.
We certainly hope that the 10th Assembly will do far more than even the 9th Assembly. The 9th Assembly did very, very well.
For senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the outcome of the poll will not undermine the independence of the legislative arm of government, rather a deliberate action plan to build an inclusive government.
The executive did not impose a candidate on us. If it were imposition, there wouldn't have been election.
One cannot attribute his victory to purely an APC matter or the supremacy of the party prevailed at the end of the day, because he was voted across party lines.
It was a very close fight, despite all that you saw that you alluded to. So it shows that the people here are determined to have independent minds.
Okay, and I want to believe that these two personalities are properly groomed to take us to the next level.
In their opinion, the robust legislative-executive relationship of the 9th Assembly is never a threat to legislative independence. Thus, they are hopeful that will be improved upon. From the National Assembly, Dayo Gunshola, NTA News.
Senator Godswill Akpabio is now the 15th indigenous president of the Nigerian Senate. Ignatius Nkwo now takes a look at the list of those who have occupied the top legislative seat since independence.
The history of the Nigerian legislative arm of government has been that of a consistently interrupted growth occasioned by various military interventions. Leadership crises, especially in the Senate at the time, also affected the stability of the legislative chamber. The indigenous leadership of the Nigerian Senate started with Nnamdi Azikiwe from Anambra State in 1960. Under the NCNC, he was succeeded after a short period by Dennis Osadebe, also of NCNC, from Delta State from 1960 to 1963. Nwafo Rizwe of NCNC from Anambra State succeeded Dennis Osadebe between 1963 and 1966. The Second Republic has Joseph Wayas from Cross River State as President of the Senate. Under the NPN, Iyochayu of the Social Democratic Party from Benue State presided over the Nigerian Senate between 1992 and 1993. He was succeeded in November 1993 by Ame Bute of SDP, also from Benue State. In the 4th National Assembly between 1999 to 2003, the Senate witnessed a handful of internal crises which saw the Senate passing through 3 presidents. Even 3rd June to 18th November 1999. Chubo Kadibo, also of PDP from Anambra State, took over from 18th November to July 2000. Anyim Pius Anyim from Ebonyi State from July 2000 to 2003, also under the PDP. For the 5th Assembly, Adolphus Nwabara of PDP from Abia State succeeded Anyim Pius Anyim between 3rd of June 2003 and May 2005. Nwabara resigned and Ken Nnamani, also of PDP from Enugu State, took over from 5th of May 2005 to June 2007. The Fourth Republic ushered in the 6th National Assembly between 2007 and 2008 with David Mark from Benue State as President of the Senate under the PDP. At this time, Nigerian Senate began to witness stability in its leadership as David Mark was re-elected as President of the 7th Senate between 2011 and 2015. It was the first time the Senate witnessed the return of a presiding officer Nigerian Senate emerged president against the wish of his party, the ruling All Progressives Congress. The major opponent of Bukola Saraki in 2015, Ahmed Lawan, also of APC from Yobe State, emerged president of the 9th Senate between 2019 and 2023. Senator Godswill Akpabio of the All Progressives Congress has now become the 15th president of the Nigerian Senate. His tenure is expected to elapse in June 2027, when the 10th National Assembly will wind down. The Nigerian Constitution provides that the President of the Senate is third in line of succession to the presidency. In history, only one person has enjoyed that constitutional provision, and that is Nwafor Rizu, who was acting president between late 1965 to 1966, when the military took over. Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Thanks for staying with us, and you're still watching the Network News on NTA. Now, at the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas from Zaria Federal Constituency of Kaduna State clinched the speakership position with an overwhelming majority of votes. Benjamin Okezekalu emerged unopposed as Deputy Speaker of the 10th House of Representatives. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
The process commenced with nominations of the contestants in line with the standing order of the House of Representatives. Voting was conducted using the open ballot system, in which members call out names of a fourth-time member of the House was declared Speaker, having scored 353 votes, beating two other contestants, Ahmed Idris Wasi and Aminu Jaji, who scored 3 votes each.
Member-elect Tajuddin Abbas, 353 votes.
The Deputy Speaker, Benjamin Okezekalu, representing Bende Federal Constituency of Abia State, was returned unopposed. The clerks to the National Assembly administered the oath of office.
And that I will abide.
And that I will abide.
By the code of conduct.
By the code of conduct.
Contained in the 5th schedule.
Contained in the 5th schedule.
To the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
To the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
So help me God.
So help me God.
That as a member of the House of Representatives.
That as a member of the House of Representatives.
I will perform my functions.
I will perform my functions.
Honestly. To the best of my ability.
To the best of my ability.
The Speaker carried out the first function of presiding over the swearing-in of other members.
Member of the House of Representatives. I will perform my functions honestly. To the best of my ability.
Because we are your members, and I congratulate you, and on behalf of them I hand over my handover notes as a Speaker of the 9th Assembly. This will be a guide to you, and I hope you continue from where I left. Congratulations, and God bless you.
This victory is not just about me. It is all about us coming together as a united house to serve the Nigerian people diligently. It is about honoring the trust that has been placed on us and working tirelessly to deliver on our promises of good governance and effective representation.
Tajuddin Abbas is the 9th Speaker of the House of Representatives since the return of democracy in 1999. Born in 1963, Tajuddin Abbas has a doctorate degree in business administration. The Deputy Speaker, Benjamin Kalu, is a lawyer by training. The 2 new presiding officers are the choice of the ruling party for the positions they now occupy. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
And joining us on the news to speak on the expectations of the leadership of the 10th National Assembly is a public affairs analyst, Mr. Mainasara Kogo. Mr. Mainasara, thank you so much for joining us on the news.
Happy democracy is my honor to be here to contribute for nation building.
Thank you so much. There are new principal officers in the National Assembly. What should be their focus now?
We should really take into cognizance the political civility, conviviality, and congeniality with which the electioneering process took place. Remember some few weeks ago, the party indicated interest is not for anything but in the interest of overall harmony. Political parties are vehicles that brings members to the National Assembly. When they drop you, it is the nation that you will face. That is the reason why you are called honorable members of the National Assembly or distinguished members of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In other words, it is the nation that you should look at, like the Honorable Speaker Tajuddin Abbas clearly said, that unity of purpose is paramount in tandem with Section 15, subsection 1, which is the motto of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So the task before them is for them to understand, number one, the significance of National Assembly. The legislature or the parliament is at the apex. That is the reason why the Constitution provided it in Section 4, and Section 5 talks about the executive, and Section 6 talks about the judiciary. In other words, the executive cannot perform without the legislator providing the law, providing the enable environment, providing the necessary needed oversight functions to ensure that those particular decisions that party decided for in the assemblage of its own manifestos are really implemented. In other words, now parliament is very, very critical in the entrenchment of enduring democracy. No democratic experiment can succeed better than the quality of its own parliamentarians and better than the disposition of its statesmanship, the statesmanship of the members. And the members have resolved to put Nigeria over and above any other consideration. That is the reason why the election went on across party lines, across geopolitical divides, across ethno-political and other cleavages. In other words, considerations of the provisions of sections 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 23, and 24 that says unity of purpose. The consideration of Nigeria, that is paramount. In other words, consideration should be given regarding the chapter 4 of the Constitution.
I would like to comment there. Talking about relationship, the 9th National Assembly had a robust relationship with the executive. Do you foresee a similar executive-legislative relations that will engender national development?
I see even a higher quantum of support. I must congratulate the performance of the 9th National Assembly. In the history, they have performed at the highest number of legislations making. In other words, highest number of law making. They have that record that they are the best in the history of Nigeria so far. And going by the trajectory of what brought about the current leadership of the 10th National Assembly, in other words, the interest of the political party itself, the interest of the executive, harmony and unity of purpose is the main important thing that will be the basis upon which they will succeed. I see the possibility of emerging political consultations on everything. All we want is policy formulations for them to cascade. If you look at even the scenario of the gallery there, governors were there, members of the former assembly were there, political party chieftains were there, members from the executive were there. So in other words, avenue of opportunity is given to the members of the 10th Assembly to make consultations and widen the scope and the capacity of their intellect for them to really do the best they can for Nigeria to move progressively. Remember the position of Nigeria in the Committee of Nations. The whole world is looking upon Nigeria for guidance, for leadership, and political leadership in Africa and indeed the Black world.
Okay, let me take you on my last question. You know, the contender for the Senate presidency actually got substantial votes. Do you see the elected president of the Senate uniting all the senators to drive the agenda for this administration?
He has extended the olive branch already to other distant. And from the disposition of the other contestant, it is an excellent experiment for people to contest rather than having just one unicentral leadership. It is an excellent experiment, and they really demonstrated it. It is their fundamental right really to contest as members of the parliament, and it is equally an expected duty of statesmanship for them to congratulate the winners and for them to put hands so that at the end of it, the overall victory of dividends of democracy will really be seen to be done. From the quality of the parliamentarians we have seen then, from the consultations, from the promises, from the avalanche of the discussions they had behind the scene, I see nothing short of success in the 10th Assembly. And with the support we have, the political parties giving them support, other political parties too have lent support for the emergence of these quintessential statesmen of highest pedigree as leaders of the National Assembly. I'm highly optimistic that success awaits Nigeria progressively with the caliber of the people elected today.
I guess Nigerians are optimistic as well. May Nasrat Kogo, a public affairs analyst, we want to thank you so much for joining us on the news. Thank you very much.
It's always my honor to be here. Thank you very much, and congratulations to those elected.
Thank you so much. Moving on, the new leadership of the newly inaugurated 10th Assembly has visited President Bola Tinubu at the State House. Correspondent Musbah Danwahab reports.
A few minutes after the inauguration of a 10th National Legislative arm made their way to the State House. First was the set of the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, and some of his colleagues. A brief but apparently a thank you visit to appreciate the support of the President. No words from Senator Akpabio, but some of his colleagues believe his emergence is the best for the Senate.
This emergency is for the stability of the country, is for national unity, is for inclusiveness, is for balancing.
We look forward to having a robust 10th Senate that will cooperate with the executive when the need arises. Would bring all that I've gotten through so many years of exposure to the legislature. I'll bring that into play. I'll bring that into practice to make sure that we make the 10th Senate the most productive in history.
It is now time to get back to work. A lot of tough times ahead, and Nigerians expect us not to join them in lamenting, but to find solutions.
Speaker Tajuddin Abbas and his deputy Benjamin Kalu also made a similar visit.
Now, what do you tell Nigerians? Because already some people are afraid that the new National Assembly, it's talking about the 10th one, might be a rubber stamp in the hands of the executive, being that you already favor right from outset.
Well, if you talk about rubber stamp, look at the acceptance rate, those who have elected those across party lines. Almost all the whole entire PDP, SDP, ADC, and all other minority parties voted us. So if they felt that we are going to be rubber stamps, do you think they will elect us? No. They believe that we will safeguard the sanctity of the National Assembly. We will always separate our independence, and will relate and be able to harmonize with the executive where necessary, but where there is a conflict of interest, where we feel that the executive is or wants to do something that is not against, is not in the interest of the public, they know they will stand up against that.
I have reason to believe that the people that have emerged ultimately are the choice of the legislators as elected by our people. And I believe they will do well. I believe they will represent the yearnings and aspirations of our people. And I believe they will take this as a trust and ensure that whatever they do it in promoting of the national unity and ensuring that government policies do not suffer.
Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has expressed a readiness to transparently work with the National Assembly, saying Nigerians expect the legislators to make laws and carry out oversight duties that will enhance the performance of governments to achieve successful outcomes, including improving their quality of life. From the State House, Musbah Danwahab, NTA News.
Still on visits, former President Goodluck Jonathan today visited President Bola Tinubu at the State House. The meeting between the former and present leaders took less than 15 minutes.
I came to brief the president about some continental and subcontinental bodies. You know, I'm the ECOWAS mediator for Mali, and I'm the chair of the West African Elders Forum. So there are certain issues bordering on the continent and the sub-region that I discussed with various presidents.
Musbah Danwahab reports that Goodluck Jonathan is the first past president to visit the incumbent in office. Now let's talk education. President Bola Tinubu says his administration will invest more and ensure stability and development in the education sector as part of ways to eradicate poverty in the country. The president renewed his commitment as he received the leadership of the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, at the State House. State House correspondent Musbaud Danwahab reports.
Just a day after President Bola Tinubu gave a new hope to Nigerian students with his assent of a student loan bill, the leaders of the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, were in the State House.
We thank you for the student loan bill. We have seen a lot of goodies coming as we emerge.
They make suggestions on how to maximize the gains of the loan and the necessities for more funding to agencies in the sector. But the students also have concerns of some fallout from the loan arrangements.
With this bill, now a lot of higher institutions will be increasing fees because they will tell that you have access, go and get loan first to pay the fees. Now we are pleading that at least we should have a uniform benchmark. And if they want to increase, they should please carry along the student union government of that school.
As it appears, for the student loan to materialize is a personal fulfillment for President Tinubu.
If we all believe that education is the greatest weapon against poverty, then we have to invest in it. And that poverty should not prevent anybody, any child, including the daughter or son of a wood seller or barley seller or yam seller from attaining their high standard of education to eliminate poverty.
And he says the students must leverage on the opportunities yet to come in the sector and empower themselves as the potential leaders of tomorrow.
You must look forward to leading the country one day. Is through courage, perseverance, commitment, and consistency.
The incessant industrial action by labor unions in the sector is also a concern for the president. The incessant industrial action by labor unions in the sector is also a concern for the president.
So the kind of ASU strike that we had in the past must not happen again. We are on this journey together, and we are charting the course for your tomorrow, today. Be part of it, celebrate it, own it, and run with it.
From the State House,
President Kashim Shettima as principal officers for a smooth run of his office. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Usman Jibrila reports.
This is the first meeting between Vice President Kashim Shettima and principal officers led by the Permanent Secretary of the State House. The Vice President expresses optimism for a harmonious working relationship, especially in the execution of his mandate. Receiving briefs from the various heads of units, Vice President Shettima expresses hope that these experienced hands who have been serving the nation behind the scenes will lend their expertise.
We are looking forward to a very robust, function of our roles, and then also supporting them to discharge, their responsibility to the nation and to make it, smooth, safe, secure, and efficient.
Present at the meeting were principal aides of the Vice President, led by the Deputy Chief of Staff, Senator Ibrahim Hassan Hadija. From the State House, Abraham Usman Jibrila, NTA News.
In his continued push to prove allegations of electoral fraud in the conduct of the February 25, 2023 presidential election, the presidential candidate of Labour Party, Peter Obi, continued with tendering of certified true copies of documents obtained from the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, before the Presidential Election Petition Court. Just as the presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, tendered some electronic documents. Judiciary correspondent Austin Ayebe tells us more.
As part of his documentary evidence to prove his case of alleged fraud in the election, counsel to Peter Obi tendered forms EC40G from 4 states at Tuesday's hearing of the petition. These include forms EC40G from 10 local government areas of Niger State, plus 5 copies of certified reports, 23 forms covering 7 local government areas of Osun State, 17 and 8 reports duly certified by INEC from 12 local government areas of Edo State, and 52 forms in respect of 5 local government areas of Sokoto State. The petitioners also tendered other series of documents which include IREF reports from 21 local government areas of Adamawa, 20 local government areas of Ogun, and 25 local government areas of Akwa Ibom states. Also tendered is a general blood document. All the documents were admitted in evidence by the court, but again not without National Commission Affairs to Koi. At the National Coalition Center when the result
has processed and approved panels establishing their presence in ceremony took place.
Good proximity, the Atlantic Ocean, the Badama for key players. It's not just a
So it's a great petroleum subsidy removal. It goes along
domestic feature of the export terminal. Skilled revenue, taxes, statutory fees, and other terminal.
This is an reports. Adiola, let's hear from you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. After 24 years of uninterrupted civilian rule, Nigeria has made progress under the current democratic dispensation. This is coming almost after 3 decades of military intervention in politics. The correspondent examined the journey so far and some of the challenges facing the country.
Following the return to civil rule in 1999, Nigeria has made some progress. For instance, for the first time in its political history, the country has enjoyed uninterrupted civil rule for 24 years so far. In 2015, there was unprecedented transfer of power from a ruling political party to an opposition. Another example is electoral reforms with the signing of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill into law to facilitate the conduct of free and fair elections, including the adoption of technology in the just concluded 2023 general elections, a positive move despite associated challenges.
So we are growing in it, we are growing into maturity, and our labs is sitting down, seeing where our prospects are and our challenges. We embrace our prospects and then sit down to see how we can improve on our challenges and overcome them.
Production of technology and what have you, even though the handlers of such technology tends to do one or two things that makes a huge outcry.
Sometimes the materials don't get to site. On the morning of election, they get there very late, and it can give room for all manner of manipulations.
For the country to chart a new course into its democratic journey, analysts say the political class must imbibe the will to do the right thing.
Nigeria has enormous potentials that we stand a very good chance to harness properly and then achieve a lot more mileage. But we need to get the leadership question right.
IREV was a major factor, was a game changer in such a way that INEC eventually uploaded all the results on their portal.
Nigerians are hopeful that President Tinubu's administration will be result-oriented and interested in leaving legacies it will be remembered for. In Lagos, Hinginu John Adams, NTA News.
And to other reports, life definitely will no longer be the same with the removal of fuel subsidy. But in managing through the process, the need to prioritize needs became important. Easing through the regime and increasing opportunities for improved standard of living is the thrust of this report by Michael Olaleye.
The long overdue decision on subsidy removal has finally been taken, but expectations on the future benefits it will deliver to Nigerians seem to be the ray of hope, strengthening perseverance. In shouldering the immense responsibility fuel subsidy removal presents to Nigerians, stakeholders say the decision has brought to the consciousness of the citizen the efficient utilization of resources in the face of soaring prices, hence need for priority.
Any engagement that you know that is not that productive or not too important at this point in time, I think you may need to rest your car at home and choose alternative, or you embrace internet.
Safeguarding the consumers' market from monopolistic tendencies and arbitrary price increase, stakeholders say should be topmost in government's agenda, while equally suggesting the adoption of the Kwara example by reducing working days within the week.
Such palliative should not be that of tokenism. Tokenism is when you say I give 5,000 to 100 million Nigeria. I give 20,000, no cash. No, it should be something concrete.
While government continues to receive a pat on the back for the laudable initiative, key players say it is important for crucial actions to be taken to mitigate the impact of fuel subsidy removal.
We need a framework for public transportation where mass transit system will be the norm. You need to incentivize states, governments, and local government who have public transport systems or who have plans for it so that they can go into it.
Although subsidy removal is key to job creation, as the process will now be directed to productive activities across various sectors of the economy, key players, however, said adopting strategies impacting on the standard of living will ease the implementation process. In Lagos, Michael Olale, NTA News.
And we're through from the zone. The news will continue in Abuja after this break, but remember to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on the screen for update. To stay with us, I'll be right back with Elizabeth shortly.
Thanks for staying with the NTA. The Sultan of Sokoto, Mohammed Saad Abubakar, has advised Islamic schools across the world to come forward with their various research in science and technology for the leaders to support the implementation of such ideas written in Arabic language. He stated this during a conference of African Islamic scholars held at the Arewa House, Kaduna. Mohammed Omar Ajengi reports.
Different collections of Arabic manuscripts on philosophy, art, science and technology written by Islamic scholars many years ago, even before the Western civilization.
Whatever you see in the West today, I can assure you, emanated from the generation of the work of Muslim scholars. The first person that invented medicine, invented mathematics, is Al-Khwarizmi. Al-Khwarizmi invented zero, and that was the beginning of mathematics.
These scholars believe it is time to show to the world that Islamic scholars have conducted a number of research on art, science and technology that deserves the attention of scientists across the world for implementation.
And so what we've talked about here is so critical, because then what happens is we can control now that story and we can now disseminate it.
Most Muslims today are under the shadow of Western influence, Western academics.
So we need research institutes, we need scholars, young scholars to come and revisit and revive those treasures.
The Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar, the Kaduna State Governor, Senator Obasani, and the Sheikh of Borno challenged the scholars to translate some of these ideas into different languages.
It's my hope that this conference will dig out more of our history, so that our contemporary society will be more informed of who we really are.
We must therefore align our research and curriculum to conform with the current realities in Africa. Islamic scholars in Africa must also sustain fruitful dialogues with their peers in the Arab world.
These Islamic scholars from different countries across the world will be here for another 2 days to elaborately discuss and digest the ideas contained in the manuscripts, including some verses on science and technology from the Holy Quran to suggest the way forward. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
Former President Muhammadu Buhari greets former head of state General Abdulsalami Abubakar on his birthday, calling him the true father of the Fourth Republic and Nigeria's modern-day democracy. Former President Buhari said Abdul Salami is a decisive leader who displayed unwavering commitment to the peace and well-being of the country and its people. The former president wishes Abdul Salami good health and long life. Now, Borno State government has reassured commitment to revamp the agricultural sector to enhance livelihood of the returning agrarian communities with improved security witnessed in recent times. Governor Babagana Umar Zulum gave the assurance while launching sales and distribution of 100 trucks of subsidized fertilizers and allocation to over 300 tractors with accessories to farmers across Borno for the 2023 cropping season. Mohammed Goni reports.
The 312 tractors and same number of harrows and plows are part of the state-of-the-art agricultural mechanization equipment that include 1,100 tractors, hundreds of combined harvesters, rice mills and planters, among others, procured by the Borno State government to transform the agricultural sector. Under the arrangement, each of the 312 wards of the state is getting one tractor at 50% discount and payable within 3 to 5 years. 100 truckloads of blended compound fertilizers are sold to farmers at 25% discount of the actual market price to encourage intensive farming activities in all resettled agrarian communities. Beneficiaries of the palm inputs and the Metropolitan Caretaker Chairman Ali Bolori say sales and distribution of the fertilizers was timely now that farming activities have picked up in earnest, and thank Borno State government for the timely intervention.
Fertilizers should be distributed to deserving farmers. The tractors will never be sold to anybody. The tractors will not be allowed to leave, to go outside Borno State. What we want to encourage is ownership, because we have seen hundreds of tractors were distributed in Borno State and they are nowhere to be found.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Bula Magana, highlighted achievements recorded by the Zulum administration in the agricultural sector, urging the governor to maintain the tempo. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
Let's take our last break to stay with us. So we can take. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Good night.